You're over 60. Every morning, you flex your fingers, hoping the tingling will just go away. But that tingling isn't the real problem. Your brain can build a new pathway around the damaged nerve. Most people are never told how. This isn't rare. It's happening to people exactly like you, right now, often without even noticing. A coin slips out of your fingers. A text comes out full of typos. A button takes 3 tries instead of 1. Most people brush it off for months. And by the time they mention it, the signal between their brain and their hands has already been quietly fading the whole time in the background. Today, I'm going to show you what the research actually says can help your nervous system rebuild that connection. Not overnight, but measurably, starting this week. No pills, no procedures, just 4 specific movements done consistently. My name is Dr. Liam Green, and this channel exists for one reason: to give you the information that should have been in that appointment, but wasn't. Today, I'm walking you through 4 movements. Research shows they can help reduce nerve symptoms and reconnect your brain with your hands. Stay with me, because movement number 2 has the strongest direct evidence behind it. And movement number 4 is the simplest of all. Though I'll be upfront that the evidence there is still early stage. Before the 4 movements, one idea, because without it, none of what follows will fully make sense. I call it the detour principle. Think of your nervous system as a road network. When neuropathy damages a nerve, through diabetes, chemotherapy, or reduced circulation, it's like a road getting blocked. Signals between your brain and your hands can't get through the way they used to. Here's what most people aren't told. Your brain can build detour routes, new pathways around the damage, if you give it the right kind of challenge. That's neuroplasticity, and it's been documented well past age 60. It doesn't stop at 60 or 70 or 80. The 4 movements ahead are designed to trigger exactly that, each one in a slightly different way. Keep it in mind as we go through each one. Movement number 1. Precision grip and place training. Let me tell you about Walter. He's 69, a retired jeweler in Tucson. For 40 years, he set tiny stones into rings with steady, exact hands. His work was known across 3 states. Then came a diabetes diagnosis. His fingers started missing the mark. Literally. Here's the problem. Walter assumed rest was safest. Put the tools down, stop straining the hands. It sounds responsible enough. But that's not what the research points to. Researchers who study fine motor training have actually found the opposite. Deliberate, precise hand tasks force the brain to process real-time feedback from the fingers. That's exactly the kind of repeated challenge that builds new pathways. Let's be clear about the evidence itself. Most of the strongest research here comes from related conditions, like stroke and Parkinson's, rather than neuropathy patients directly. The mechanism is well established. The neuropathy-specific evidence is just still catching up. That's an honest gap, not a reason to skip this one. What to do? Slowly place small objects, buttons, coins, dried beans, into a container, one at a time, 5 minutes a day. Precision matters more than speed here. Rushing kind of defeats the purpose. Movement number 2. Hand and finger strengthening. Meet Susan. She's 65, a retired quilter in Charlotte, 6 months out from chemotherapy. Her hands felt weak and unpredictable, like the needle might slip without warning, right in the middle of a stitch she'd done 1,000 times before. A randomized trial studying adults with diabetes-related nerve damage tested a simple daily hand, finger, and foot exercise program. The exercise group showed significantly stronger improvements in hand motor function and everyday tasks, like climbing stairs and doing chores, compared to usual care. What to do? These movements don't need to be complicated. A light resistance band adds a bit of extra challenge to the same kind of finger and hand movements tested in that trial. Loop it around your fingers, spread them against the band, hold 2 seconds, release slowly. 10 reps, twice daily, both hands. No band at home? A folded rubber band works just as well. Which of these have you already tried? Type the number below. I read every comment. Movement number 3. I want to be honest about this one, because it's an adaptation, not a direct copy. Slow, deliberate weight-shifting movements, the kind used in Tai Chi, have solid research behind them. But that research is about balance and leg function. A few studies on whole-body Tai Chi practice have also found nerve conduction improvements in the arms, but that's a side effect of the full practice, not evidence for the isolated arm movement I'm about to show you. The upper body version, slow controlled reaching, hasn't been tested on its own in those trials. We're applying the same underlying principle here. Slow, intentional movement forces constant sensory recalibration. It's promising by extension, not proven directly. And I'd rather tell you that than pretend otherwise. Meet Harold. He's 70, a retired gardener in Sacramento. Kneeling in the dirt for decades left his shoulders stiff and his hands slow to respond. He found this one the easiest to start with, because it needs no equipment at all, and he can do it standing at his kitchen counter. What to do? Slowly reach one arm forward. 5 full seconds. Feel the movement the whole way through. Return just as slowly. Repeat with the other arm. 5 reps each side, daily. Sit down for this one if standing feels unsteady. And now, movement number 4. The simplest of the 4. Though I'll say plainly, the evidence behind it is still catching up compared to the other 3. An occupational therapy program built specifically for chemotherapy-related nerve damage in the hands uses graded exposure to different textures and pressures to retrain the brain's sensory map. Early results from this kind of pilot program are promising, though the researchers themselves say larger studies are still needed to confirm the benefit. Neuropathy doesn't just damage nerves. It starves them of input. The less your hands feel, the less your brain bothers maintaining those pathways. Deliberate sensory input is a reasonable way to counter that, even while the research keeps catching up. What to do? Close your eyes. Run your fingertips slowly over 3 different textures, smooth, rough, soft, 2 minutes on each, every day. Walter says his fingertips feel less muffled 3 weeks in. That's the detour principle, working one signal at a time. Here's your protocol. Write it down. 1. Precision grip in place. 5 minutes daily. Trains real-time brain-to-hand feedback. 2. Hand and finger strengthening. 10 reps twice daily. The most directly supported by research of the 4. 3. Slow controlled arm reaching. 5 reps each side, daily. Forces constant sensory recalibration. 4. Hand sensory re-education with textures. 2 minutes each hand, daily, eyes closed. Simplest to do, though the evidence is still early stage. Start with 2 this week. It's the most directly supported by research. Add 4 for its simplicity, even while its evidence catches up. Bring in 1 and 3 once these 2 feel routine. Susan came back to see me 8 weeks later. I finished a whole quilt square yesterday. I didn't think about my hands once. That's what this is really about. Not exercises for their own sake. Giving your nervous system the challenges it needs to rebuild the connection neuropathy has been interrupting, piece by piece. Start with a texture exercise today. Just 2 minutes, on one hand. That's enough to begin.